As if they don't take enough already, now the government wants your gold. A new amendment that was hidden in the health care bill states that all gold transactions over $600 must be reported to the government. That means your name and where you live. Is this fair? We welcome attorney Rebecca Rose Woodland and SEC registered investment advisor Christopher Markowski. Rebecca,
Eric,
why do I have to fill out a 7-page form if I simply want to buy or sell an ounce of gold?
$600 is the minimum that you have to fill that form out now. So do you know how many transactions are going to be delayed and slowed down for this form? The government claims that they just want to keep track of this because they're losing tax revenue. But the reality is what they'll start keeping track of is all the people who are buying and selling or maybe stockpiling gold, and they'll be able to see where people are putting their wealth. That's probably what's behind this.
And what in the heck is it doing in the health care bill?
Well, that's what happens sometimes. That's how politicians do things. They throw things in. This was thrown in last minute to the bill, and then no one really has time to dispute it.
Well, let me tell you, you know why they did that, Peter? Why did they do it?
Well, I think they're laying the foundation for capital controls that are coming in. I'll tell you this, you might not even know this, but I do.
It was let me just do this. They think they can raise $17 billion by doing that. That's crazy. They're using other means to pay for the health care bill.
They're trying to lay this foundation for ultimate capital controls. People are going to be fleeing the U.S. dollar. Look, I have a broker-dealer. In addition to selling precious metals, I sell a lot of foreign stocks. Guess what the government just passed? When you file your tax return next year, you have to list with your 1040 every foreign stock that you own. Now, you don't have to identify the domestic stocks, but the foreign stocks, even if they're ADRs, even if they list on the New York Stock Exchange. Why is that? You tell me. There's no reason for it. I think they're going to try to seize it.
I don't think there should be any capital gains taxes in the first place. You can throw the whole thing out. But the reality is you're going to be having, if you spend $600 on legal pads over the course of the year, you're going to have to do a 1099 to Staples.
Yes, that's another new addition that they're trying to do.
Every small business
owner. We had a coin dealer on maybe at the very beginning of Money Rocks sometime in June or early July, and he said, this is going to cost, I'm going to have to do 10,000 7-page documents. My business is going to close up. I'm going to have to hire more people.
You spend more than $600 on dry cleaning. You're going to have to 1099 your dry cleaner.
My shoes, Eric. My shoes cost more than $600. I'm going to have to do a 1099 every time I buy a pair of shoes.
You can write those
Come on.
You can write that off.
I think the real reason for all these 1099s is they want to take that data and compare it to income taxes to see if people aren't paying their income taxes, not the tax on the items. It's just more government paperwork because they know more and more people are going to go into the underground economy. As the economy gets worse, as taxes get higher, more people are going to try to go underground, and we're going to have black markets.
Chris, let me ask you something. For a long time, though, people bought gold because, frankly, I could buy gold and no one didn't have to tell anyone about it. I could do what I want with it, right? Not anymore.
No, not anymore. But, you know, it's same thing with stocks, though, here. You have to report to the government every single time you purchase something, what the purchase price was, what you sold it, because you're going to have to pay capital gains taxes on that. So, you know, I don't see the problem with that.
But the difference is, Chris, the difference here is gold has always been a form of store of wealth, not necessarily a speculative investment, which they're kind of lumping it all together right now. If I want to hold an ounce of gold, can't I hold an ounce of gold? I'm not going to go into a store with a stock certificate and say, hey, listen, I need to buy something.
But you're not going to go into a store right now with an ounce of gold, do that either, nor am I going to go into a store with an American Express certificate and, you know, trade with that either.
Beck, I'm annoyed by this. I feel violated by this.
And I agree with you. I think it's going to go further. I think it's a little more. We want to see who's stockpiling gold. We want to see what's happening, what people are doing with their money.
They certainly know where my guns are, right?
Well,
I mean,
but the government might need that gold one day, and they want to know where it is so they can come get it. Or what if they pass a law and require you to turn it in? And you say, well, I don't have any gold. What do you mean you don't have any gold? What'd you do with all this gold you bought?
Right. There you go. I mean, can they do that?
Well, unfortunately, this is a law on the books now. This is not something, can they do it? They did it. Someone has to challenge it, get it to be repealed. That's a very long process.
Listen, I know what you're saying there, and that they throw that up there, and that's one of the reasons why that a lot of the gold dealers are trying to push people into gold coins, which I just think is nonsensical. But the reality is, I live in Florida. I used to live in New York City for a long time. We carry guns in Florida. Try that. See how that works out. You know, when people come into their house, the government's going to take it. It'll be a revolt down there. That's not going to happen.
Well, the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, it was originally written. The intent of the amendment was to protect yourself not against each other, against the government.
Yes,
a tyrant government that may want other things as well as your gold.
Well, absolutely, and they normally want your guns and your gold. But, you know, the government is getting more and more oppressive. As the government continues to pursue policies that destroy the economy, they also just take away our liberties, and the government is able to use the chaos that they create as a justification to usurp power because we surrender our liberties because the government promises to protect us, but they're protecting us from them.
Rebecca, you got to write up 10.99 every time you buy a pair of shoes. Is that what I'm getting?
Isn't that
I want to see how she can write off her shoes.
My shoes, my
How is that possible?
Bottom line, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up this way. This is not an administration that is business friendly by any means. Rebecca Rosewood, I'm going to say thank you to you. Thank you. All right, you think the gold ship has sailed without you? Too pricey? Climb aboard the next big thing. It can make you millions. Next on Money Rocks. Welcome back, everyone. The time has come to tell you how you can make big bucks in the next bull market. 3 things to consider investing in. One of them is my personal favorite. Oh, boy, I'm going to tip my hand right off the bat. Joining me now, CEO of Uranium Energy Corp., Mr. Amir Adnani. Sir, stay with us for 1 minute. I just want to get back to you in a second because I want to save you for last because honestly, uranium is my secret pick. But I'm going to start with you, Peter. We asked everyone to pick their favorite picks, and here's Peter's. Let me take a look. I'm opening it up. In Peter's envelope, it is silver. Go ahead, my friend. Peter, why is silver the next gold?
Well, first of all, the gold bull market is not over yet, so don't start burying it yet. We want to stay there. But the silver bull market is part of the gold bull market. But I think ultimately towards the end of that bull market, you're going to see a much more explosive move out of silver. For example, silver is still less than half of its peak price in nominal terms.
In nominal terms.
Right, in 1980.
It's making new highs the way gold is, though. In fact, I think it's up more than gold is from low to high.
Right, but believe me, at the end of this bull market, whenever it does end, you're going to see a more spectacular climactic end to silver.
Right.
So if you really want to be in something that can go up a lot, even more than gold, silver, and we just spoke earlier, you could buy an ounce of silver for a lot less than $600, so you're not going to fill out one of those forms.
No doubt. The easier access. Peter, I'm going to give you a thumbs down, I think. Okay, Christopher, I'm going to open your envelope right here, right, my friend. And when you sent this in, I thought it was brilliant. Brilliant. Lithium. Go ahead, sir. Why lithium?
We do things a little bit different. We do baskets of commodities and whatnot. I found it very, very interesting that the New York Times ran a piece back in June saying that Afghanistan has over $1 trillion in lithium deposits within that country. Now, for the life of me, I don't know why we're in Afghanistan at this point in time, aside from the fact that maybe there is that type of mineral wealth there. You have iPods, you have cell phones.
What do we use lithium for?
iPods, cell phones.
In the form of?
Yep, batteries.
Batteries, there you go.
They're looking, the technology's not there yet, but eventually they want to get the technology to put into the electric cars.
So how do you buy it?
FMC. I'm telling you, I know the stock. FMC is one of the biggest miners and producers turning lithium.
But how do I actually get the physical lithium?
Is a big.
Well, it's kind of poisonous. You don't want to be holding on to
so
this
how
stuff.
are you going to buy it?
All right,
silver, you get
we're going to go. Mr. Amir, are you there with us, sir? I'm going to open your envelope. And it's fairly obvious, I guess. But you say uranium. I am on board with this. Go ahead, sir. Why is uranium the next gold bull market or the next way I'm going to make $1 billion?
Well, I mean, we got to say right up front that, it's apples and oranges. I mean, gold bugs are pushing the price of the yellow metal to all-time highs on the concerns over, inflation, and it's a hedge, and it's become basically its own asset class. Uranium is driven by the energy market. And the fact is that where we are in the uranium market and nuclear power today is where we were with oil at the turn of the last century. At the turn of this century, uranium and nuclear power is very much emerging as a solution to our growing energy needs. It's a clean way of electricity generation. It's reliable and it's large scale. And as it plays this more important role in our energy mix, we're going to have to mine more uranium. We're only mining enough uranium today to meet 2/3 of current demand.
On a worldwide
existing
basis,
demand is expected to double.
On a worldwide basis?
On a worldwide basis. Right. And, basically, let's go back to the price. Price of uranium today is at 1/3 of its all-time high, and its all-time high happened in 2007. On a nominal basis, its all-time high it could, on an inflation-adjusted basis, happen during the oil embargoes of the 70s.
Right.
So
Now,
we're not anywhere near the all-time high price of uranium.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I spent a lot of time with this. We're producing about 18, maybe 20% of our electricity through nuclear methods, whereas the rest of the world, or there are places like France doing 80%. That has to increase in the U.S., and that will only create more demand for uranium, right?
That's exactly it. And not only is it going to expand in the U.S., but places like China. China's currently constructing 22 nuclear reactors. Even oil-rich countries like United Arab Emirates has just now commissioned 4 new nuclear reactors to be constructed there. All of this is going to require more uranium. And the bottom line is that the cost for a pound of uranium to a nuclear reactor is very small, less than 4 or 5% of the cost to generate electricity. They're not price sensitive.
Okay, so the couple of ways, this is a user-friendly show, ways to get involved in uranium are some of the major uranium refiners. Peter, I'm going to throw it out to you. Do me a favor, guys, throw up a chart of, let's go with CCJ. I think it's the largest uranium producer in the world. Go ahead, Cameco. Can you do that? Go ahead, Peter. Uranium is a play. I love this.
Yeah, well, look, full disclosure, I own that stock in my personal account, and I own some other smaller uranium stocks. You know, we had a bit of a bubble in uranium stocks back 4 or 5 years ago. Some of them I sold and made some good profits. Others I still hold. I wish I had sold them. But it is a great story. I was a big believer in the uranium story, and I still believe in it, particularly in Asia. And the best part about it is, yes, that no matter how high the price goes, it can double, it can triple. It's not going to affect, they have to buy it.
Are you buying this uranium deal?
There's great ways where you can get all of these things in your portfolio. There's good closed-end funds out there for a lot of new investors. People are just getting involved where they can basically get their beak wet in some of this stuff, and absolutely no doubt about it.
Mr. Adnani, I'm sorry. Uranium Energy Corp, your company right there. How are you doing? You're a publicly traded company, right?
We're a publicly traded company. We're actually the only company in the world that's going to have 2010 production. We have a project coming online in the next 50 to 60 days down in South Texas. Our production is low cost, and it's 100% unhedged. So our story is getting a lot of traction out there right now, and there'll be many more companies like ours emerging in this space over the next few years, because there's only 6 companies in the world that produce uranium.
That's the
only
other thing.
6.
And not many of them are in friendly lands. If I'm not mistaken, there's some areas of the world less than solid geopolitics going on. We're going to have to say thank you very much, sir. Peter Schiff, thank you. Christopher Markowski and Mr. Amir Adnani, thank you. Panning for gold is making a major comeback. Is this your way to strike it rich? More Money Rocks. I'll wear my glasses tomorrow.